Hi again. I'm back in Portugal. My main job this time is to build a canopy.
This is not something that I've done before, and I ran into quite a few problems, from warped wood to construction mishaps, oppressive heat, and nature running amok.
Oi! The day I arrived, my shoes were stolen, along with one of my socks. As the thief left one sock behind, I have decided to name him One Sock.
Oi, stop that.
I feel that me and One Sock have now reached a kind of understanding. If he doesn't steal stuff, then I won't chase him away with a rake shouting "Get off my land" in really bad Portuguese. I bought 50 metres of 80mm by 40mm green timber and some tin sheets. I've bolted 4 lengths of the timber to the side of the ruin. I didn't film that part of the process because it's hot and I forgot. To fix the first part of the shelf, I use 120mm wood screws to keep the timber level. The shelf will hinge down from this. I didn't film this part of it either. Did I mention it was hot? I've never built anything like this before. In truth, I've never built anything as ambitious as this. In fact, this is probably the first thing like this that I've done. I got on with it anyway. Here I'm cutting the brackets that will support the countertop. The angles for these are not quite 45 degrees, which is kind of awkward. I'm going to attach these brackets to the columns using hinges and a catch fastener. This is so that the brackets can be folded away flush to the wall. The stainless steel clasps will give extra stability and take some of the load off the hinges. I planned on making the countertop from these sections. I hadn't actually anticipated how much the wood would warp, so I need to find out if they're going to fasten together flat. Hopefully more soaking and clamping overnight with a counterweight attached to remove the twist will help. And there's Gary the lizard. I forced the sections together as tightly as I could. At this stage I was thinking if I just keep at it, hopefully it'll flatten out. However, even after clamping, the surface was just a tiny wee bit uneven. So I gave up. Went and got drunk. Nah, I didn't. I kept on going.
Okay.
Figuring the worktop as a problem for another day, I cut the 4 joists that would hinge out from the top to form the roof of the canopy. Because of where I'd bolted the upright to the wall, the bolt was sticking out right where I needed to hinge down. So I cut this hole in the back of the support in order to allow it to fit over the bolt. Gary the inconspicuous insect. Hi Gary. After attaching the 4 roof joists with hinges, I then cut and installed purlins to go between them. It's quite strange to watch myself doing this. Seeing these sequences put together, it looks as if I'm working to a plan. But I was just making this up as I went along. I would look at the bit that needed to be done next and then figure it out. I don't know why I came with the confidence to just do that. If I'd known that green wood warps in the heat the way that it does, I probably wouldn't have tried to make the countertop the way that I did. But in my mind it worked, and I knew that if I'd carried on doing that and put the canopy together in the way that I saw in my head, there was no reason why it shouldn't work. At least that was the plan. And in case you're wondering, the striking t-shirt design is now available in the online shop. Actually, it isn't. The camera has started doing some weird artsy out of focus thing on long shots, which I can't get my head around. The autofocus is also audible in the soundtrack as it tries to click into focus on the centre of the frame. There is no rhyme or reason to it. I feel I want to try and make it work. The camera was a gift from my father, who is now passed. However, it really seems to prefer the background to anything I'm doing here. It's too hot to do very much in the open after 10 o'clock in the morning. Even in this part of Portugal at 700 metres, the July heat is already intense. I can work for 10 minutes and then sit in the shade for another 20. The winter storms can be really fierce here, as I found out in 2023. So I need to try to make sure that the structure is going to be able to withstand the gales. The two end purlins are screwed in straight, but the centre one is screwed in at an angle. I figured this was the right way to do it in order to try and ensure rigidity. Because you can never have enough rigidity. Alright. My friends turned up to take me to lunch just as I was finishing the last bit of the folding roof structure. When I came back, I discovered that it was flying ant time. Right next to my bed. Nice. Go on, go away. My intention is to cut these supporting angles for the roof so that they can hinge in the way into the roof space. Geometry is a bit of an intuitive process for me, so these cuts are effectively what feels right. Even if it's going to turn out a bit rough and ready. I had to do a bit of sanding in order to get them to fit. Educational standards were considerably higher in the 70s and 80s, but even the best maths teachers available couldn't get through to me. However, I was quite good at technical drawing, and also at woodwork, because I enjoyed those subjects. I think if you want to try and become good at something, then enjoyment is definitely key, and I am enjoying doing this. Two of these angled sections will hinge into the right, and two of them will hinge into the left, tucked away into the roof space. Ideally, the canopy can then be folded down and everything will fit inside. At this point, I realised that I'd screwed the supports onto the wrong side.
Ah, put that the wrong. Duh.
So I had to take them off. And put the hinges on the other side of the support. And put the support up on the correct side. And that was it done. The support beams to hold the roof in place were up. What I need to move on to now is to cut the tin sheets for the roof. Next time, things don't go according to plan. The fox tries to steal something else. My wonky woodwork carries on being wonky, and events farther afield edge ominously closer. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.